Hi, my name is Anita Rome, and I'm in nutrition and weight management. My presentation has to do with healthy relationships. Here are my objectives to this presentation: to state my personal goal, to tell you what I've learned from the interviews and what I learned from the research, and what I found I needed to personally improve upon. So my initial goal was to get more quality family time with my husband and kids, and I considered that to be 2 times per week, and each time lasting 2 to 4 hours, and I was going to do that for the rest of the semester. I chose this goal because I am a full-time student and I work full-time, and I really do not have a lot of personal time. I do feel guilty as a mom not being able to spend as much time with my kids as I would like, and I also feel guilty for not being able to spend time with my husband as much as I would like. My intention for this goal is to feel loved and supported and less stressed, and it's important for me to keep strong connections with my husband and kids. I feel like I was successful in accomplishing my family time goal, and I was able to connect with my children and my husband more than I did previous to this experiment. My stress levels did go down, and my guilt was eased by putting the extra time in and effort to spend time with my family. And I do believe that it did strengthen the relationships that I have with each of them, especially my oldest daughter, Riley. So here are the interview questions that I used. On a scale of 1 to 10, how important is it to spend time with your family? So let's say they answered at 8. The next question says, why did you say an 8 and not a 5? And then they would explain their answer. Does spending time with your family reduce the stress in your life? If not, do you have other social connections that you value and try to make time for? Do you intentionally carve out time to spend with your family on a regular basis? What activities do you like to do with your family? Do you find your partner a source of support and refuge? What specifically do you like about your partner? I interviewed 2 men and 8 women, and I found it interesting the answers that I got for the question, on a scale of 1 to 10, how important is spending time with your family? The men rated family time the lowest in importance, 1 a 7 and 1 a 5, and the women, 7 out of the 8, rated family time a 10, and only 1 rated it an 8. Of the 10 people I interviewed, they were all married, and only 1 of them didn't have kids. When I asked them if they found their partner a source of support and refuge, 8 said yes, 1 said no, and 1 said not consistently. When I asked, does spending time with your family reduce stress in your life, I was surprised to find out that only 3 said yes, 4 said sometimes, or it depends, and 3 said no. So in part 2 of this assignment, I really got to explore some of the answers that I received during the interview section. What I found surprising was that the men I interviewed placed family time lower in importance than the women did. I also found it equally as surprising that all but 1 of the women placed family time as a 10 on the scale. I guess I was suspecting more of an 8 or 9 for most of the participants. So that was interesting to me. I also found it interesting, though, that of the women, 80% of the women said family time either didn't decrease their stress, or it depended on the person and or situation. So that was interesting to me. That shows to me that women might be more prone to prioritizing family without concern of how it benefits them. So when I was researching publications, one study said that men rated the importance of family based on how their needs were met, while women based it on how they wanted to prioritize time with their family. And I found that to be true with my conclusions from the interviews. In that same study, it said women tend to give more social support and men benefit more from this social support. So one of the studies I did interviewed or researched how men and women in a relationship, how it affects their health. And overall, being in a healthy marriage does increase your lifespan, but it really increases at a greater margin in men than it does with women. I found that interesting. Also, if a marriage is bad, women have more detrimental health concerns from that than men do. So I also found that interesting. In another study, higher levels of social support correlated with reduced depression and anxiety. The conclusion of my interviews and my research for part 2 led me to know that not everyone feels the same way about family as I do. In my case, I consider it to be a way to reduce stress in my life. For many, it's actually increases the stress in their life. And for myself personally, the biggest eye-opener is that I should probably work on bigger social circles, because a lot of the people I interviewed may not have found stress relief from their families, but found it from friends, and that's one area that I need to work on. What's next? I plan to spend time with my family as a whole, but I also plan on doing one-on-one time with each family member. I also plan to expand my social circle by making time for friends. When I graduate, I plan to have fun dates with local friends, maybe a hike, fried pickles, the YMCA, and I plan to do that once a week. For my visual aid, I chose to make a poster showing how to have healthy connections and also what the health benefits are for them. So it's important to make time for the person that you're having a relationship with. It's important to be present, communicate effectively, and be empathetic. And it's also important to recognize that in the relationships you have in the other person. So are they making time for you? Are they being present, communicating effectively, and being empathetic? And then there's health benefits. It helps reduce stress, supports healthy immune, endocrine, and cardiovascular functions, reduces blood pressure, heart rate, and stress hormones. It reduces inflammation in the body, supports mental health. It reduces the risk of unhealthy behaviors and increases self-esteem and purpose in life. It enhances the belief of personal control, which fosters healthy habits and increases physical and mental health. Supportive of healthy relationships correlate with a longer, healthier lifespan. I'm going to leave you with a quote from the Tiny Buddha. Good relationships don't just happen. They take time, patience, and two people who truly want to be together. I hope that you guys take the time in your relationships to nourish them and to strengthen them. Thank you. That concludes my presentation. Thank you for watching.